Thanks to EA for sponsoring this video. Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. In this video, I'm building a beautiful big mansion with The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature. I was lucky to get early access to The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature, and I just wanted to build something really big on the 64 by 64 lot. This was a little bit inspired by Rivendell, but I kind of did my own thing here and just had so much fun with the brand new build buy items. Before we continue, remember to use code EMERALD when shopping Sims 4 packs to support me and my channel. Add a pack to your cart, enter EMERALD, and apply the code. You can now save up to 60% in the Sims 4 summer sale. Thank you so much for your support. I started off by building a bridge, so I just needed a floating floor piece. You can simply build a room, a floor piece on top, and when you then delete the room, you can move your floating floor piece up or down wherever you need it. And I just built the floor piece, and I then added a lot of debug items from the new pack. This is an early access build. This means that it's only The Sims 4 Enchanted by Nature and the base game. Also, no tool mod or anything, just the move objects sheet and a lot of debug items. So I really had to do some magic here to make all of this work. So I placed the debug bridge on top. I then found these pillars in debug, and I just added a lot of stuff to make it beautiful. I then built a glass roof on top, and I also used this beautiful fence from the pack. And at this point I was adding different things just to add more detail, like the trim, for example. I raised the pillars up a little bit. I then also added this roof decoration. I just wanted this to look as detailed as possible. There is a new exciting feature in The Sims 4. We are finally able to add bushes and flowers to roofs. So these bushes snap to the roof, and when you now go to the roof decoration section in the base game, you will see lots of different plants which are also roof decorations. You can still use them to decorate the ground, of course, but you can now select them and simply place them on a roof, which is amazing. I had some trouble here because even though I had activated the move objects sheet, it was kind of tricky because there are specific slots, and I think the roof slope, how steep it is, also matters, and it wouldn't let me place some bushes in some areas, which was kind of tricky. But overall, it's such a cool base game feature. And I also used the new flowers from Enchanted by Nature to decorate the roof a little bit. I think I did this for all my Enchanted by Nature builds, to be honest. It's just so cute and such an amazing feature. I then started to work on the curved part of the bridge. So you already saw how I built the center part of the bridge, and at this point I'm just expanding the bridge. I already raised my floor piece, and I just added a bigger section of floor on the left and right, as you can see. So I was able to place this base game rack, and this is my guideline. And I found these beautiful debug items from Enchanted by Nature, and I just followed the shape of the rack as you just saw, and I'm then going to remove the outside part, so I'm only left with this curved section. And I then also added different debug items, a hatch for example, because I really wanted to hide the edge of the floor because it was kind of visible. This little debug item which I had used to create the round shape was really slim, so it wasn't as easy to really hide the floor below. So I just decorated this a little bit to make it more beautiful. I then lowered the terrain at the bottom because I wanted there to be a beautiful pond. I then took a look at debug again, and I found lots of different rocks, and these are also mainly from the base game. I then stumbled upon a beautiful rock which is from Enchanted by Nature, and I decided to raise the slope on the left side. As you can here see, I smoothed it out so your Sims will be able to walk up the slope. And I then wanted to add these beautiful rocks from Enchanted by Nature because they kind of look like a step, and you can here see how I've built a basement. I I've then used my keyboard to raise the rock, and this way it's like not blocking your Sims path because these rocks are visible at the top, but they are actually sitting in the basement, so they are non-existent to your Sims. Sometimes in debug we also have items which like generally won't block your Sims path, but sadly this item does, so I had to use this little trick. As I said, it's early access, there's no tool mod, so I really had to use all the good old tricks. I then used this beautiful lavender plant from the base game to hide the slope because, you know, I don't like exposed slopes. I just wanted to decorate this a little bit. I also used more base game debug rocks to like decorate this a little bit, and later on I'm actually going to delete the basement, and this way there was no like glitch with the lighting because you can see that these rocks look pretty dark and they usually don't. And here in this lighting situation in the afternoon it's looking all right, but as soon as it was dusk or dawn or anything, it like looked really weird and like a shadow. So I removed the basement and the rocks remained and it looked the way it's supposed to look. And I then started to work on the build in the back, the actual build. And this is always really tricky for me because when I have an idea for landscaping, for a yard or front yard, and then I have to add a build in a style which I usually don't build in, it's always like a fun challenge. And as I said, at the very beginning, I was a bit inspired by Rivendell, but I didn't want to completely recreate it, so I was really winging it here and I was trying different things. Also, as you just saw, when I just switched the wall height, it was moving my bridge, so I wasn't able to make any changes to this because I totally couldn't go back and change the whole bridge at this point. So I really had to like use the wall height. I was kind of stuck with this wall height for the build, and I was just trying to make it look as beautiful as possible. So here, like this shape is kind of inspired by Rivendell, and I was like decorating it using the beautiful new pillars, the spandrels, the windows. I'm really excited about these new items. They look really whimsical, and I feel like you can use them for all kinds of different cottages and whimsical fantasy builds, not only for fairy builds, and I thought that they look like really cute. I had the hardest time deciding on a roof swatch. I also had no idea which wallpaper to use for the exterior, and I eventually wanted this to be a bit colorful. And here I'm working on the roof, and I wanted to include a glass roof, so I just placed a glass roof in some areas to make it look more beautiful, and I decided to remove the wall in the front to also make it look more interesting. I was really struggling with the build shape at this point. As I said, sometimes when I'm working on the landscaping at first, it's like kind of tricky to really create a build behind it, and I was kind of confusing myself here, but I think it turned out quite nicely. I then added a door and windows, and decorating this was so fun because the new items are just stunning. I then duplicated the part on the left because I wanted this to be symmetrical. I then added more flowers to the roof, and you can here sometimes see how it's not letting me place them. This is what I mentioned earlier in the video. It's like a little bit frustrating. I wish that as long as move objects is activated, it would allow me to place it anywhere on the roof. So it's still kind of snapping, but it's like letting me place it anywhere. This would be really easy and amazing because sometimes when you build a cottage or maybe a fantasy build like this one, you really want to add all the flowers, all the plants anywhere. And I think this should be changed. I then added a bit of terrain paint to have a nice transition between the floor and the grass. I added some benches, also a table and chairs just to like furnish and decorate the exterior a little bit more. There are lots of amazing vines in this pack, and there are actually wisteria vines. And those of you who know me know that I'm obsessed with Desperate Housewives. I actually recreated Wisteria Lane from Desperate Housewives. The video is on my channel, the build is in the gallery. I recreated a big part of the street on a 64x64 lot, and I mean, it's the Wisteria Lane, and Wisteria is what it's all about, and I'm like so excited that they added Wisteria here. I mean, I already recreated it, but I always wanted to go back and also build Edie's house. Like back then when I built Wisteria Lane, I was running out of space. I had to make a lot of compromises to make it work, and Edie's build just didn't make the cut. So I wanted to go back and only build Edie's house, and I feel like I totally have to do that now that we got like more amazing Wisteria here. We also got some from Cottage Living. I think it's actually also Wisteria, but here like we have so many amazing options. And this is the interior, and you can see that I wanted this to be colorful and fun. I've used different wallpapers from Enchanted by Nature. There's one which like also has some of these vines, as you can see, and I then decided to have a more simple blue wallpaper for the kitchen look, because I feel like there's like so much going on in a kitchen. You add the cabinets and wall decorations, and I feel like kitchens always look busy in this game, and I just decided to have a more simple wallpaper. There's also a new kitchen backsplash, which I actually didn't use here in this build, but this is also a nice new option. I love that the Sims team has started to include backsplashes in different packs and kits. This is like so amazing. And I wanted this to look really colorful and like something that could work for a fairy, but I still wanted this to be like a proper mansion, because I mean, this was the first build I created in the early access. You know, I'm all about mansions and big builds, and I thought, okay, 64 by 64, let's do this, let's build a big mansion. So that's what I did, and you can see that I've added lots of plants, I added lots of vines. I wanted this to be as whimsical as possible while still looking luxurious and like a mansion, and I was just trying to be a bit random, like adding plants anywhere and vines so it's looking a bit overgrown. So it's kind of a mix of a really planned out luxurious mansion and a really whimsical fairy build. And my other Enchanted by Nature builds are like more whimsical, I'd say, but this is just like a typical KateEmerald build probably. And I decided to use this area in the back as the living room. I also used more vines, and you can see how cute the windows and the curtains are. And I just wanted this to be like really rustic in a way as well, which is why I've used like some darker browns like for the little table and the bookshelf, and you can see it just looking so magical. I love this. I feel like it's such a good pack. I feel like the world is beautiful, and I feel like Build By is really good. I still think it's something that you either like or not, because you're either into building fantasy builds, whimsical builds, whatever, or not. It's like really specific. I feel like a modern, simple furniture kit, for example, caters to most people. This is like a bit more niche, but I love this. Like, I love it for this reason, because it's so special and beautiful and unique, and it's just looking so colorful and fun. And I think they really nailed the Build By. And I mean, look at the textures and everything. It's just looking awesome. The color combinations, everything is a bit random and super colorful. It's not color blocking, but like all kinds of colors are mixed in everywhere. It's like so amazing. And yeah, this video is slowly coming to an end. You can here see lots of screenshots. This build will go up in the gallery once the pack is out. And yeah, here you can see what I've created. And also want to remind you that you can use code Emerald in the EA app if you want to support me and my channel. Thank you so much if you do so, and thank you so much for watching. Of course, I hope you're excited for more Enchanted by Nature builds. I've missed you all so much, and I hope you're doing so well. Please let me know in the comments how have you been doing, and are you excited for the pack? Just leave a comment down below, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.